the fact that Varnex is finally coming to fruition in Canada means a lot to me. This is the second time I put a community together in Canada. I've gotten to know a lot of people up there, learn a lot about the culture, learn a lot about what their needs are, kind of get a good feeling what the differences between the two countries, quite frankly. So from my standpoint, to see it actually now starting to really move forward, and then the excitement I've had from some of the people here has been really good. I just got done talking to one of the Canadians, and he gave me some ideas already that, quite frankly, I just hadn't thought of. And so once again, I'm all for stealing ideas from Canada for the U.S. I've always been a big supporter of Canada standing more on its own. And some of the resellers that from Canada have already come back, they are so, I don't know, impressed with the meeting we've had so far, because we put a very heavy Canadian flavor into it. They came back to me and said, no, we're fine with having, the meeting together, because we think that there's a lot of things we can do. Now, what they also came back and said, it's not long enough. And we've been thinking about that already, is that 2 days is not long enough. And so we've kind of stretched out the first day into more of a training period. So I think going forward next year, we'll have to stretch this out to 3 days, because the commitment from the resellers, especially from what I heard from the Canadians so far, is they want to have a little more time for content, that the content's what they're really interested in. No, I think it took me a few months longer than I thought. I wanted to do some things in the U.S. to get fixed first. And so, it was my decision to hold back a little bit. We've got the staffing in place now, and started moving forward. And the response from the customers in Canada have been great. There's a lot of customers in Canada that aren't being served by a community. And so I think that there's plenty of people out there that can use our help, and then I think Synnex is very poised to do that now. One of the things I found, and I've done the same in the U.S., is I haven't set a size limit. Now, with that said, we want to get coverage in as much of the country as possible. We've done a great first step on that because, of the members we have now, it's a smaller amount that's from the Toronto area, but we've picked up a lot from the west and the east. And I think that as we go through, I don't know what the magic number is. I don't have a limit. As long as I feel that they can learn from each other and they can do things together, I think that's the most important thing. Well, the first thing is when you go in with the Canadians, you have to realize you're going into a different country than the U.S., and you have to respect that. So I think that over the past 10 years, I've learned a lot of trust of the Canadians and gotten them to know who I am and so forth, and what we can do. And I think with Canada is that there's some things that we can do. Canada does a very good job dealing more direct with the end user than I think the U.S. does. For instance, for them to have a website that really touches the end users in Canada, I think it's much stronger. I don't think that's something we can do in the U.S., but it's definitely something we can do in Canada. That's just one minor example. But you also have to look at the layout of Canada. There's a lot of people in one spot, and so you have to be cognizant of that to not try to put too many of your members just in the Toronto area. There's no question about it that once the resellers get more involved in Varnex, and we can show them some of the things we can give them besides price and availability, and show them more about solutions, talk to them about vertical markets, really put the things together so they don't have to have all this high-end cost, that they become more loyal. And by loyalty, it means you still have to continually earn the business. Loyalty only goes so far. You still have to earn it, but you get what I would call the benefit of the doubt on different things, but also more importantly, it gets them to work more closely with you.